Yeah. It's not a bottle of rum today, y'all. This is not a celebratory situation right here, but I at least wanted to say yo. But I will be celebrating later today. Directly after, well, I don't want to say directly after the stream. Somewhat after this, I will be playing greatness. Meaning I will be playing God of War. I will be playing God of War on my PlayStation 5, and we're going to be doing it in 1440p. You peons. Nah, let me stop. This one's here for the people, y'all. It's your boy MM2K of PNTS Network and CloudDosage. I'm back again with another SLS featuring MM2K. I hope everybody is feeling good. My stomach's been queasy all day, dealing with these damn Stadia refunds. Not so much necessarily because, like, I'm in need of the money. I'm Gucci. Well, I'm not as Gucci as I thought I was. I'm not Gucci. I'm Pele. I'm Troop. I ain't Gucci. I'm Troop. But I'm telling my age with that one. For those y'all don't know about the Troop jumpsuits. Man, this isn't looking too great so far, but we're gonna see how this pans out. I gotta be fair. Not 100% sure how this is gonna pan out right now. Let me know if all the audio levels and stuff are good. Let me know if everything sounds all right. I gotta close out some things just to make sure that the stream is smooth. I don't wanna close out my notes because that's gonna be very important. I'm gonna be on I got a lot to cover about this. So I'm gonna be on topic. I'm gonna be on script. So I'm not gonna be all over the place today. Shout out to everybody. Thank y'all for coming through. Let's shout out and do us a huge favor. Tweet us out so everybody knows that we're live, or know that this video exists, at least if they can't watch this until on demand. This is going to be a very important video. So I'm going to go over some things. I got a nice little slide and all that stuff. So hopefully y'all will do that. Okay. Yeah, it's artists. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I see y'all. Let me shout y'all out in the chat. We go to the place where I can do that. We got Squids in the house. He said, yo. We got my brother in the house, Cold Blood Sensei. I know you're gonna be rocking. Hey, Cold Blood, I'm changing it up a little bit. I want to show off the 1440p-ish on MM2K Gaming. I'm gonna tag you, bro. Don't worry about it. When I go live, I'm gonna tag you. And then I'm gonna bring it back over to Twitch. All right, hope you don't mind, man. He says, why not 4K? What is the 1440p Xbox Series S resolution? I ain't got the goods to stream 4K, bro. I mean, you know what? I probably could. From my second setup, I probably could. I can't stream directly 4K though. I can create some 4K videos. I definitely could do that. But me streaming 4K, oh, I don't know if I can do that, bro. This artist says, yo, MM2K, I got it. He said, I got 1K of Monopoly money. He says, I don't know what to do with it. Google can play money. Cold Blood says that most useless currency ever, even V-Bucks from Fortnite may have value. This is crazy. Absolutely. So I want to do some things before we go live. Shout out to everybody. Again, let everybody know that we're live, man. This is going to be very important. This is going to be probably the most important podcast I've done in a very long time. Because we're going to be talking about some very adult stuff. I'm hopeful that, and I kind of know Google is listening. I'm going to be spilling some tea as well. I'm going to be spilling some tea about me. Some tea I've never spilled before. Because This might require a coming to Jesus moment for some. And in order for that to, I think, have the effect that I needed to have, it's time that I spill some tea. As much tea as I can spill without getting myself in trouble, but I'm gonna spill some tea. All right. So let people know that this video exists at the very least, even if they gotta, you know, set a reminder or whatever, because again, this is gonna be very important. All right. Can y'all hear me good? Let me know if y'all can't hear me good. Rooster says, laugh out loud, cold blood sensei. I got 600 pay credit. All right. So first and foremost, let me do this. I want to give some flowers. I want to give a shout out to a lot of the friends that I have on the content creation side. You know, of course, my brother from another mother. When it comes to this cloud stuff, my brother Jack the Slip. My good friends is we called ourselves the Stadia Initiative. We got to come up with a new name. We got to come up with a new name, the Stadia Initiative. My brothers Jack, John, Clive. Everybody's still doing their thing, man. The website is pumping. John is killing it. You know what I'm saying, with the streams. Clive is killing it with the Xbox podcasts and the shows. Check out his stuff, man. And the bars and the nutritious gamer fuel bars. And we try and do our thing with the YouTube channel. We're still trying to create a format to where we can still open it up to the community. So we're continuing grinding with that. Everybody's still doing their thing. So shout out to them. I also want to shout out to our contributors, everybody that contributes on the website. Eddie, Rick and company, and Mark Sally, and I know I'm forgetting here. There's so many. Y'all wouldn't believe there's so many. Damn it! I'm gonna go through everybody's name. So we got Mark Sally, we got Simon Roadhouse, we got Craig Petter. Shout out to Craig. We got Eddie, Rick. Here, let me just do this. We got Tyler Shipman, we got Daryl Smock, of course Jack, and Eddie Rick. Thank y'all so much for all your contributions and the great things that you do for CloudDosage.com. I also want to shout out some other content creator friends and partners that we work with. Shout out to Squids. Shout out to Lo-Fi Monk. Shout out to the homie SPG. Shout out to Ray Sherrod. Shout out to my brother Jeff G. Shout out to Purple Haze. Shout out to Maine's World. Did I say Lo-Fi Monk? Yeah, I think I said Lo-Fi. I think I said that punk. That's my brother, Lo-Fi Monk. Daryl Smock. Can't forget my brother from another mother, Peter Cottontail. Shout out to Pete. Pete, we got a rap, of course. I know you. Pete going through it right now. And this would have been great for Pete. Hopefully Pete didn't get caught in an okie doke like a lot of us did. I mean, he's able to get his cash. You know what I mean? But shout out to all those people. I want to shout out some more people. I want to shout out Rock. Shout out to Rock. Shout out to my homie Nerds World. Shout out to Nerds World in the house. Excellent. Shout out to Windstar doing the damn thing. Shout out to Papa Beer, Papa Gaming. You know what I mean? Shout out to both of the Cloud Gaming dads. Shout out to CGD, the original one, and the new one. Shout out to Holtz. Many, many more. I know I'm forgetting them, and I can't go through everybody right now. Definitely want to give a shout out to Vet Cloud Gaming. You know, just so many content creators out there. Many more. Y'all know I rock out with y'all, you know what I'm saying? Particularly Vet Cloud Gaming. I hope he doesn't mind me saying this. Vet has been one of the people that I've been talking to a lot recently. Good brother. I've always had love for Vet. I know in the middle of the, you damn Stadians, war and all other stuff, there were some words that went back and forth. Nobody's perfect, including me. I've had to go and apologize to some content creators. You know what I mean? I have a tendency sometimes to get overzealous. But I rock out with them, and there's many more. I didn't name all of them. There's many more that I rock out with, and I appreciate them. Because I don't rock out with everybody. There's just some that I won't rock. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna rock out with them. There are some things that have happened that we just can't come back from. You know what I mean? I consider myself to be a friend. I don't get in the middle. I don't pick sides. I try to be the diplomat. I don't do stuff behind people's back and then smile in their face. All that weirdo stuff that I had to deal with on the mainstream side. I didn't come over here for it to happen here as well. So there's just some people I won't rock out with. But those are the people that I named that I definitely rock out with as far as the content creation side. And there's many more. The thing is that the reason why I wanted to give those people their flowers is, even though those are people that do content with me, you're gonna see them doing content with me now or in the future, possibly. Those some don't even know it yet, but I have yet to reach out to them and try to do something with them. And I don't want what I'm about to say to be a dark cloud over them. Everything that I'm saying right now is of my opinion, is of what I think. These are my thoughts alone. My focus tends to be on the safety net around consumers and less resource gamers. So therefore, my concerns are the things that I think are important often differ from even people that I love dearly, from people that I've named. And I can be a lot to deal with when it feels like the people are being taken advantage of, when things are being misrepresented or people are being taken advantage of. Now, I'm not saying that's what is happening here, but the mere presence of it, for example, as I'm going to talk about today, has me alarmed to a degree. And even a lot of my friends may feel that adults have to operate with common sense and they just got to deal with certain things, right? But the way I look at it is, even though that may be true in various scenarios, often companies use their infinite resources to deceive people and pilfer the less resourced. I know, because I work for a company that does such that, and I've done so for the last 25 plus years. So I know how it goes. And I'm totally against that. And me being totally against that is the main pillar of my content, what my content stands for. Very close second is education, but making sure that the less fortunate consumers are not being taken advantage of. And that's not what it, and again, I don't want to say, because a game is bad, somebody got taken care of, but there's just some business practices with consumers that companies are clearly taking advantage of people. And again, I'm not saying that's what's happening here, but in that regards, there's some things that are going on that raise some alarm bells with me. And I want to express those alarm bells without it filtering to anybody else. These are my thoughts and my thoughts alone. They don't represent CloudDosage, just represent MM2K, my thoughts. But before we get started, let me shout out some more people and then we're gonna get right into it. Y'all playing right, we getting Google Play money. What's up, everyone? Stefan, good to see you. Jay Smith was good. Next we go hard. Good to see you, my good brother. You made it as you promised. So what's the deal with this situation? Fred Murray, I'm gonna get into it, man. Give me my flyers, damn it. I told you Google will F up big time. No, you're cold blood. You know I rock out with you. I had to name the content creators that I work with and I'm known to work with. I don't want what I'm about to say to affect them. So I wanted to be abundantly clear, put out that disclaimer. These are my thoughts only. They don't represent the network. They don't represent PNTS. They don't represent CloudDosage. They don't represent anybody that I work with. They just represent my own take on this. All right. So to Frank Murray's point, like, what is the deal with this situation? Or Fred Murray, my bad, Fred. What is the deal with this situation? Here's what the deal is. Now, to be fair, before I get into that, to be fair in this convo, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to break down what I do know. I know Fred is anxiously waiting at. I'm going to talk about what I hope isn't happening. Then I'm going to piggyback that with, if what I hope isn't happening is actually happening, the worst case scenario and what that would mean for Google and everybody involved. And what I hope, and we're going to end on a positive note, what I hope happens. Okay, so Fred, here's what I do know to answer your question. I know refunds are going out. I know the first swoop appears to be focused on the software side solely. I know that if there were any payments used via Play Credit, Google Play Credit. So if you use Google Play Credit to partially or fully fund any payments, the portion that was of Google Play Credit, whether it was part of it or the entire purchase, is being reimbursed to Play Credit. Pay close attention to that word, reimbursed. Notice how I didn't say refunded. I said reimbursed to Play Credit. All other payments are being sent to the issuer. All other payments, again, that were part from a credit card or PayPal or anything of that nature are being sent back to PayPal or that credit card issuer. They're being refunded to the issuer. Notice how I use refunded there. What I also know is that Google has claimed that unsuccessful attempts will prompt emails. So let's just say if they go to refund the issuer that sent the original payment for a game or anything software related, in-game credit or in-game purchases or whatever, and that card is closed or they will not accept that refund, you will receive an email letting you know about that situation. If you don't receive an email, but then you notice that the status via, what is it, Google, I forgot what it is, but you can go and check your individual purchases, and if they all say refunded, but you don't see that money refunded and you know Google Play had nothing to do with it, and you know it wasn't, refunded to, reimbursed to your Google Play credit, then you're going to want to contact your financial institution. That part is 1,000% legitimate, because what happens is the ACH department may say, okay, well, we do have data that equates to John Doe or Jane Doe here. It just doesn't match that account number. Let us do some reconcilement. That's the financial term for it. Let's do some reconcilement. Let's check other data parameters and see and confirm that they have an account here. And let's see if we can put that in. If we can't put the money into something that we can fully confirm, then we're going to do something called an NOC chargeback, and we're going to send the funds back to you. Now, I promised you before, because you guys might say, oh, that's, excuse my French, that's bullshit, MM2K. I don't, no. Let me explain something to you. This is where I spill a little bit of tea. This is in the realm of expertise of mine that I've been doing for 25 plus years. So I know on this whole financial side, what Google is being legitimate about and what may be a little bit of BS and may have a little stink to it. I've written and participated in uniform commercial codes being drafted to handle situations such as these. Talked at conferences where I've had to educate other financial institutions and other relative companies about these said things. I've won awards for creating systems and databases that help regulate things like this. I know what I'm talking about here. So, again, that's not me to pat myself on the back. That's a precursor to when we get into more of this stinky smelling stuff that I hope isn't happening. And I give some warning signals to our good friends at our big company, Google here. I hope somebody's listening. So I had to spill a little tea right there about myself. But that's not it. Oh, I got some bigger tea to spill. But just hold on. All right. So that part is legit. Your financial institution may be holding on to those funds. And they may say, you know what? Yeah, we have data on someone like this. It looks like that they may still have an active account. Let us go do some research. Let us do some reconcilement. And if all that adds up, we'll deposit it into the account that we can confirm now belongs to that person. If not, NOC chargeback, it goes back to you. You got to figure it out from there. All right. So give that part some time. Like, I have several of these transactions. Some of them went through PayPal. The ones that went through PayPal, I got today. The ones that came directly from my card, I don't see any transactions because this is I'm in the United States. This is a bank holiday for banks, and most financial institutions. You're not going to see any type of ACH activity because the ACH departments will be closed for the most part. They're only going to be handling wires, and wires might not even be done today unless they're million dollar wires into certain trusts. Now, pulling this out of my ass again, I've participated in the writing of and revising of critical uniform commercial code. This regards. All right, let's continue. All other payments are being sent to the issuer, as we just stated. Google has claimed that unsuccessful attempts will prompt email. So they claim in those examples where I said there's going to be that NOC chargeback to the issuer, which I forgot who the third-party institution is that Google is using. Once they get that money back, they're going to send emails and say, okay, look, we tried to deposit this money. Your issuer institution wouldn't accept it. Contact us so we can get this taken care of. All right. Now let's go to the uproar side, the thing that is causing the uproar and the heartache today. A lot of consumers are upset because large portions of these payments are actually reimbursements, not refunds. They're reimbursements to their Google Play credit. Very important. Understand, there's a reason why I'm using the term reimbursement opposed to refund. All right. As things stand, a lot of us, some may argue most, I'm not 100% sure, I don't have the metrics on this, have no use for the Google Play credit, as it's the only way, as it's only for the Play Store. Meaning, if you want to play a mobile game, buy a movie or buy an audiobook, that's about it. You can't even add the credit to gift cards and purchase gift cards, which to me is the most insane. So if I have Google Play credit, I can't share it. It's just kind of crazy to me, but whatever. And you can't go and say, "Oh, I want a Pixel 7." I've tried all these scenarios, and I was just under the assumption you could. But what it is that Google has so many confusing intertwined. Google is very unorganized. And if anybody wants to argue me on that, you're sipping the Kool-Aid, because Google employees themselves, a lot of them will tell you, yeah, we're unorganized. Sometimes the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. Google is very unorganized. So you got Google Pay, Google Store Credit, Google this, and somebody can be technical and try to break it all down to you. But everybody else who operates in the same realm, their ways of credit and the way that they cross paths are not this messy and not this confusing. They're not. They're simply not. All right. So as things stand, most people have no use for this Play credit again, as it cannot be used outside of the Google Play Store. So Fred, to answer your question again, so what's the deal with this situation? That is the deal with this current situation. With that said, to see where everybody stands with that, let's go to the chat before I go to the meat and potatoes, which is what we hope isn't happening. And if it is happening, what it's gonna mean, the shitstorm that will follow. Yo, we got Sanchez Gaming in the house. Cobless is unacceptable. They should have given the option to select how you want it refunded, not just give digital currency that can be used anywhere else, but on the PlayStation's Play Store. This is anti-consumer as F. Now, I'm gonna be fair, Cold Blood. I said in my non-kid friendly sailor mouth rant that yes, if they really cared enough, they could have very well have done this. I do this alone. Again, one of the reasons why I won an award for what I've done is I have over 18,000 clients, Fortune 500 clients, most of them, that have hundreds of activity a day, that I balance their activity on my own. And we used to have a horrible error rate. We used to have an 18% error rate. I think it was higher when it came to balancing their transactions. Me and my team created a system where we got the error rate to our company standard. I think at the time it was 0.04%. We went from 18% to 0.04%. And then it went from, and then this program was so efficient. I didn't mean to do this. The program was so efficient that they went to my team and they said, we don't need you no more. And I said, whoa, hold on, wait. We found places for them to go, thankfully. But then they just gave it to me. And I run it. So this is me. And again, I am no shape for, I'm gonna spill some more team. F it, there's no other way to say it but to say it. For many years, up until recently, wasn't very fond of my company, especially after a big event happened. I want to say, I can't, mid 2000, something happened. I really didn't like the company after that. I've had a bunch of battles. People that are close to me, I've talked to you guys about this. Had a bunch of battles, had, you know, things, even had to go through litigation. I'll just leave it at that. It was some bad things that happened, and it wasn't until recently that this program that I told you guys about, I got a hold of it, and now that's primarily what I do. That's why I work from home for a couple hours, because I built the system. I know how it works. You know what I mean? And the rest is history. That being said, because I didn't like the company, and I was managing all this stuff. I was managing an IT team. I was managing the call center. I was managing our distribution area. And I was managing a team that specialized in Fortune 500 company reconcilement. I'm managing all these teams myself. I had most teams in our department. I said, now I may not be like a rocket scientist, but I'm doing a lot of these hats, and I'm doing it with so much efficiency. Where else can I go and be in a better situation? You know what I mean? And get some more money. So reasonably, I applied at Google. And I went to Google so many times. And they were like, yeah, your resume is impressive, but we have this test, this competency test as it comes to, you know, being able to contribute these high computation things that we do here. And if you can't pass that, sorry. Meaning, if you're not a genius, forget about it. Maybe you could work in a cafeteria or something like that. Opposite of that, forget it. So despite all my experience, despite all my accomplishments, without that genius aspect of it, they wouldn't hire me, right? And I said all that to say this, that if I am able to do what I did, and I still couldn't, and I still wasn't smart enough to work at Google, I know Google got the capability to do what I do in their sleep. So in my rant earlier, I said, yeah, if they really wanted to, because they have everything cataloged, they could very easily have said, all right, here are the payments for games for software that came directly from an issuer. Let's send those back to those issuers. Here are the games that were used and paid for by Google Play Credit. Let's associate the credit used and the credit obtained and look at how was it obtained. Was it obtained by a Google Play card bought in the store? Okay, if it's a Google Play card bought in the store, there's nothing we can do about it. It has to be Google Play credit. That I can understand. But if it's Google Play credit, like if I went and bought if I bought $25 in Google Play credit, then bought another $35 in Google Play credit, what's that? That's $60. And I bought a game for $49.99 off of that credit I just bought, then you can look at the Google Play credit that funded that purchase, and you could send it there. Very easy to do, right? But then from a holistic retail side, number one, this happened so quick. A lot of people don't understand. They think we're BSing. This was not something that was on the docket because SG&E closed. This is something that happened rapidly. This is me being fair here. It was last minute. And because it was last minute, it appears that Google put most of its focus on combining systems or giving access to what they could to this third-party vendor to even make this possible. Because if you're doing something this massive, Google couldn't do it on their own. So from the month and a half from when they announced the closure to when they're actually sending out these payments, That's a real quick turnaround to even do something like this. So they didn't award the time to be able to do what I said they could do and test it out. And B, it's not feasible to do that because what if I'm just the weirdo and I want Google Play credit? So it makes sense to, even though it's a slight inconvenience, but trust me, but hold on now. I'm not excusing all of this. So just bear with me. It makes sense on why originally Google Play is being reimbursed initially, but that shouldn't be the end of it. So Cold Blood Sensei, I'm with you on the part of people should be able to disseminate where this is going. It just makes sense that originally it's going to Google Play credit, but that should not be the end of the transaction, if that makes sense. All right. Also says, I feel for you guys who got affected by this daylight robbery. I'm in the US and I got my Capital One bank account refund from Google this morning. Okay. And some credit card issuers that will happen. A lot of my purchases that were not done from PayPal were done from my financial institution's card, and they're closed. Capital One is more global, so you're going to see those transactions. Now, my financial institutions, like for instance, my wife normally wouldn't get paid until today because today is a holiday and they're not doing any ACH related transactions, which this would fall under. The ACH department, like normally when you get a paycheck here, I'm gonna spill some tea for you guys that you never knew. When you guys get paid on the 15th or the end of the month, you know that your company doesn't send your money that day. Like that money is sent days in advance. It has to go through a clearinghouse. All ACH transactions go through the Federal Reserve. You didn't know that, did you? They go to the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve sends a report to your bank, your financial institution. It says, Cold Blood Sensei, if you're in the States, I can't talk about international ones or, that are happening, but if you're in the States, your money has to be sent to the Federal Reserve, and it has to be sent like 2 or 3 days in advance so they can legitimize the funds. And this was all made super relevant around 9/11, for know your client policies and making sure that money isn't being laundered and all this other stuff. So all money goes to the Federal, but that's part of it. Money goes to the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve then sends a report to your financial institution, and your financial institution knows that the money is coming. So what happens is, in the case of my wife, now the Federal Reserve then has to release that money if everything is okay. If you're not on any terrorist watch list, that's why part of the reason why the Federal Reserve gets the money. There's terrorist watch lists, there's things like that, so they can seize it. As long as you're not on the social security number isn't associated to the terrorist watch list or anything like that, then they'll send a report to your financial institution. And the report says, Cold Blood Sensei is scheduled to get money on Friday. But again, the Federal Reserve follows a bank holiday. They're closed today. So the Federal Reserve is not going to send the money. The Federal Reserve does not work on bank holidays. They don't do weekends. So the Federal Reserve actually isn't sending the money to your financial institution until the next business day, which is Monday. But here's what your banks do, or your financial institutions do. They see that money coming in. you're a long-standing customer, or they're just a big enough company to do so. So they do this so more people, because word spreads. Oh man, oh yeah, when it's a holiday, I get my money the day before, and that gives them more customers. And they front you the money. So in the case of Next We Go Hard, it is possible that that credit that you see hasn't been received by Capital One yet. They're being fronted the money. A little bit of education today, again, and look it all up. How do I know this? Again, for 25 plus years, I've worked at a Fortune 500 company. For a good portion of those years, I've worked with entities to help draft and edit uniform commercial code and educate other financial institutions on situations such as these. That's all, and that's all I gotta say about that. So I kind of that part I'll be fair about. You know what I mean? So I get that part. Most of my money went to Google Play Credit. I got most of mine at Google Play Credit as well. Since I changed my YouTube Premium and Google One subscription to be paid by my Google Play balance. Okay, and that makes sense if you can do that. Excuse me. And see, and as we can see here, everybody is, most of their money went to Google Play Credit. I'm gonna do a poll. And we're gonna get to the serious part. I'm gonna do a poll. Did most of your refund go to your bank / credit card or Google Play Credit? I just want to know where most of your money went to. Bank, credit card, Google Play Credit. All right. Now, this is very important. This is a segue to the next part that I'm getting into. Google made us believe that they were in it for the long haul. This aged well. I would use some money from my Google rewards combined with buying a few dollars from the Google Play app, but not in every case. Sometimes I just, my credit card. Yeah, combined. And I'm in the same case too. But here's the part that's a problem. Here's what I hope is not happening. I hope that the Google Play Credit how did I write this? I hope that Google Play Credit isn't transferable either to use on the Google products at least. I don't know how I wrote that. I don't know what the hell was wrong with me. Here's what I hope. I hope that the Google Play Credit becomes transferable. Let me rewrite that. I hope that the Google Play Credit becomes transferable either to use on Google products at least, but more preferably to your issuer of choice. I hope that the above happens and the hardware reimbursements don't come until next year. Meaning, again, to repeat, what I hope that isn't happening is that you're stuck with the Google Play Credit and you can only use it for Google Play Credit things. That you're not given an opportunity to talk or work with the representative and get it transferred either. Like if you can go back, and I'm gonna show you how to do this. You can go back, like for instance, I'll give you a prime example. I bought, there's an instance that I bought Madden with Google Play Credit. I did it because I wanted to add to my Google Play points, right? For the purchase. Because if you get so many points, then you can reimburse points and get $10 off a purchase, right? So instead of buying it directly from my credit card, I reimbursed and got Google Play credit, $65 worth, and I bought Madden. Because I itemized all my transactions, I am able to show that, hey, notice here on the same day, spent 25, then 35, and then I went and bought Madden. This Google Play credit was specifically for Madden, and here's the issuing bank that I purchased the credit with. I think you're going to have to do that. Per my experience, I don't think that it's, if you wanted to go back to your issuer, I think you're going to have to go back to the relative points in time where you bought said specific credit. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Earmark it. And then say, you see, I bought 25 here, bought 35 here. Then immediately after I bought Madden. This is where the 25 came from. This is where the 35 came from. Just put it back there. You may have to do that. And in case that's what you have to do, you're going to want to itemize these items. I'm not saying that that's right or that's fair, but unfortunately, all's fair in love and war. You just got to be equipped. And again, as someone who's been doing this for 25 plus years, I just broke down to you the whole ACH process method. I know how financial institutions work, particularly in situations like this. It's better to be equipped and do more work than you have to than not have done enough work and then them close the case on you and you're stuck with all this credit that you can't do nothing with. So that's my suggestion. Start itemizing instances to where you got Google Play credit and you specifically got that credit and you show, look, March 1st, $25, and March 1st, another $35. March 1st, I bought Madden. In between that, I'm not buying Google Play credit and buying anything else. Look at my activity. Also, what I'm hoping is that while people are having to go through the rigors to have these conversations, that I'm hoping that Google is, for at least for their sake, I'm getting to that. I'm hoping that Google is willing to have and is telling their representatives to have. I'm hoping that while people are having to go through this difficult time, they go through these rigors just to get back their own damn money, that they're not sitting there saying, well, you ain't gonna get the hardware reimbursements until next year. I think you make this an easier time to go through, especially for the target demo that you went after, that who are most affected by this. I think you make it an easier time if you do because we know the hardware purchases have to be tied to a financial institution. So that's straight cash. So just give them the cash. Just give up the cash. All right. Now, I'm gonna go to the chat and then we're gonna talk about what if Google is trying to play hardball with this? And that is what's happening. They're saying, sorry, sucker. And you're stuck with Google Play credit for, like in my case, now, when it comes to software, 2/3 of your purchase. Whole Blood Sensei says, MM2K, how can we spin it so it's Xbox? Hey, look. Hey, you know how y'all, you know how the ponies is doing in Cold Blood. They're saying that because Xbox bought Bethesda, that's what shut down Google. That's what I'll be messing with Post Up behind the scenes. And I'd be like, Post Up, it's y'all's fault. Y'all wouldn't have bought Bethesda, because ain't that what Phil Harrison said? They bought Bethesda, so we closed on SG&E. If y'all wouldn't have bought Bethesda, we wouldn't have been so damn scared. That's what I told. Dusty and Ray, what's going on, good brother? Good to see you as always. Oh man, y'all's crazy. All right. So, oh man, if you don't laugh, you'll cry. All right. So here's what it would mean if Google is trying to quote unquote play hardball. And they knew this, they did the math and they said, oh, these mammy jammies, we did a good job. These are low resourceful gamers. And again, when I say low resourceful, I don't mean stupid or idiotic, whatever. I mean, you're not resourced like the average gamer, meaning you can't go out there and buy a 3090 and buy a, let me give you an example. Even though 2/3 of my software is tied up in Google Play credit, and that's a bummer. And let's just say in worst case scenario, that's stuck there. I still got a considerable amount of money that's coming in cash, particularly the hardware part. And secondly, I'm not hard off on this money. Like I just wouldn't buy, I told Cold Blood that I would be streaming, I'm streaming God of War today. And the reason why I didn't stream it on Wednesday is because my knucklehead sons told me that they would buy it for me. And I didn't want to step on their toes because they've never done anything like that. And I told them, I said, but hold on, if you're going to buy it for me, can you buy it on Wednesday? Because I want to stream this thing and, have some fun with this, right? And by me, I said, you're putting me in a disadvantage by me not streaming it the day of the launch. Then my sons come back to me, well, Dad, how about I get it for you on Friday? And I said, midnight Friday. Like, if you're doing this because you get paid, then midnight, you buy it, you gift it to me, and that's it. If when I wake up, if I don't have it, I'm buying it. All right, Dad, I got you. All right. I woke up, didn't see it, bought it. Frivolously gave my daughter $100 just because. It's something silly. I bought something off her, but it wasn't worth $100. I just did it. Now I'm eyeballing Dying Light 2 with its add-on, and I might be getting that so I can play that on GeForce Now over the weekend. I can do that with or without this money. I am not the atypical Stadia consumer. I may be a loudmouth, maybe a jackass to many, but I am a content creator. People that can create content at the level that I have or the level that I am are more resourced. We give away shit here. Now God bless our homie Jack the Slip and all of you that have contributed and helped in us giving away. But even before that, we've been giving away shit here. None of the money that comes through the channel, the platform, super chats, all that stuff, I pocket. None of it. It's been like that since day one. None of it. This was always a community forum. I'm more resourced. Doesn't make me better. That's just the circumstance that I'm in. I am not the atypical Stadia gamer. So here's what it would mean if Google is playing hardball. And again, when I say this stuff, again, this doesn't represent any of my friends. This doesn't represent CloudDosage or anybody, any of the content creators, the great content creators out there that I rock out with. This is me. This also isn't geared towards the legacy Stadia people, the Korean Yaps, even the Dov Dimmerigs and the Dov Zimmerings and Phil Harrison. I know a lot of people go after Phil Harrison. I don't even think Phil Harrison. I think Phil Harrison was just like a silent participant in all this. Like this is all Google brass. But this isn't sent towards them. The people in the Stadia community, none of the legacy Stadia people. This is not of their wish or desire. And I would even reckon Phil Harrison. Phil Harrison is probably saying, scratching his head and saying, like, what were these people doing? Talking about the people that he had to report to. And Phil, just personality-wise, isn't Phil Spencer. And he was given so less. Like, if you guys literally knew what the Stadia team had to operate with, it was shameful from the beginning based upon Google's brass's expectations. That would be like me going to my child and saying, look, man, when you go out, I want you to have a wholesome, healthy meal. You know, none of that fast food junk. I want you to have a great, wholesome, healthy meal that'll fill you up. Nice salad with some nice, you know, organic meats and ingredients in it. Here goes $2.50. That's essentially what Google Brass did. Phil Harrison didn't want that. Phil Harrison was one of the original 40 people that started PlayStation. He was one of the original talents that discovered Naughty Dog and signed the contract with Yoshida to bring them onto PlayStation. He knows what it takes to be successful in this. He's probably relieved, and he went back home to the UK and said, I'm just gonna, you know, go back into retirement and spend time with my family. So I don't even fault him. This is Google Brass. That being said, the term refund is written all over the materials, and I've already downloaded it. They can't reword it now. The word refund was used instead of reimburse. That's critical here because, yeah, you can look up the dictionary terms of refund and reimburse, and they both refer to money. But when you talk about retail compensation, they basically mean something different. And see, what Google likes to do when they're trying to short you, not Stadia, Google, when they're shortchanging you, is they like to be ambiguous. And they like to use certain words to make you feel like they're going to do this, so they got you clinched on, but they're really giving you a lot less, which is this. And when you use the word refund, that is commonly used when you're given currency back, legitimately well-recognized currency back to a currency issuer, and not your own embed credit. When you're restoring someone's Google Play, PlayStation Store, or Microsoft credit, you're reimbursing them that credit. Now, I'm not saying this is a silver bullet, but it's a smoking gun. Take it from the guy for 25 plus years involved in matters such as these, with the writing uniform commercial code, testifying in multi-million-dollar court cases, might I add. Forgot that part. It's not a silver bullet, but it's a smoking gun. So when you meant reimburse, you constantly used the word refund. The difference in interpretation when dealing with purchasing matters such as these have an importance to them. If people were reimbursed and Google Play credit opposed to being refunded funds, money, reimbursement, credit to a certain account. If people were reimbursed in Google Play credit opposed to refunded their money on credit obtained solely for the purpose of making Stadia purchases, and that's all you decide to do. Again, to be fair, we don't know yet. They very well could be willing to talk this out and help people move that credit, that Google Play credit. To be fair, I want to put that out there. But if they're not, that practice is not only slimy, but it's potentially legally problematic. I hope someone is listening. I hope. Take it from the guy. Do you hear this? Do you hear the tea spilling in the back? Take it from the guy responsible for drafting uniform commercial codes over such matters in financial retail situations such as these. That's not it, folks. The practice can also be considered borderline. Hear me out here. The practice can be considered borderline predatory because Google themselves said on numerous occasions their target demo were those who could not afford to play the normal way that gamers play. So these are gamers that we're looking to attract who are less resourced. So let's bring it all home. So in turn, you offer these less resourced gamers access to something that they normally wouldn't have access to based upon their economic attainability. You lure them in further by offering special discounts, by convert your currency into Google Play funds and we'll make this even more obtainable. You then, within a short amount of time, remove their ability to access these items for eternity. And then you go through the rigors of trying to satisfy or remedy the situation by reimbursing them credit obtained only for said thing that you're shutting down abruptly forever. Let me tell you this. Hold on to your seats. I'm going to go there. Again, this is not a silver bullet. This is just me using my 25 plus years of experience in very critical situations relative to these matters, and me just putting it out there in the ethos in case this is what's going on. If all that I just said is what's happening, it can very easily be interpreted that way. And that, to me, also based upon my experience, I'll get there, sounds like class action material to me. Again, let me be fair. If this is how it remains, we don't know that yet. But if this is the plan, this sounds like class action material to me. And I'm going to, again, not representative of any of my friends, not representative of CloudDosage, not representative of anybody, not even representative of Cold Blood Sensei. MM2K, you're going too far. How dare you? You don't know that. Let me shut off the music. Yes, yes, the hell I do. You want to know how? Because in my tenure, I've also been responsible for handling class action transactions globally for Fortune 500 companies. Yes. I'm not making any of this up. None of it. Music back on. Has it sunken in? Hopefully it has. More importantly, this shows on the retail side, the more Compass would again, if this is what's happening, we don't know if this is happening. So I don't want to jump the gun there. We're just talking scenario wise. We're just talking scenario wise, again, to put this out in the ethos in case somebody is listening and they're thinking about traveling down the dark side. More importantly, this shows on the retail side, the moral business to consumer compass is obliterated by the top brass. And yes, a moral compass is part of business. Ask all employees at Fortune 500 companies that go through integrity training and they're lectured on reputational risk. That's why I kept using the term reputational risk. It's a serious thing. And here's the thing. Even some of the most villain-made companies do better than this scenario. Again, this is a scenario. Don't know what's going to happen. Google could very well be saying, okay, we're going to negotiate these terms and transfer these credits. Again, this is a scenario. But even some of the most villain-made companies do better than in a scenario. Let me share a story with you, a true story with you to bring that term home. Years ago, one of the clients that we work for, all I can say, I'll just put it like this, is that this was a huge oil company. Well-recognized oil company, huge. And you know, the whole oil companies are considered evil, right? This particular oil company had a group of people that lived in a particular area. They had workers and former workers that lived in a particular area. And what they would do was, so they would be close to this major plant, they would relocate people. They would get some of the best people in specific areas and relocate them to this area. Something happened in that area that had nothing to do with the oil company at all. Nothing to do with them at all. But the oil company felt a responsibility to help those people in that situation, because a lot of them wouldn't even be there if it wasn't for work. Now, a lot of companies don't even think that way, let alone an oil company. A lot of people wouldn't have even suffered through that had they not had to be there for work. So the oil company was just mindful of something that they didn't cause that put these people in that location. And my company, in my department in particular, we handled communications with a sector of this oil company that had nothing to do with the people they wanted to reach out to because of this situation. But here's what happened. On a Saturday, while your boy MM2K was drunk to the skunk, tearing up the funk, I get a call. It's from my boss. My boss says, hey, I need your team to handle a special situation that's going on with this company. How fast can you get down there? I wasn't even given a choice. I said, well, boss, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I'm drunk as hell. Let me drink some tea. Let me get some coffee. Let me sweat this out so I don't come and smell like tequila and bourbon. And I'll be there in 2 hours. And I was there in 2 hours. I had enough gum and put cologne all over my head and everything. And I was there. On a Saturday, we don't work on a Saturday unless there's overtime. Well, the particular departments that were involved definitely don't work on Saturdays. So we're sitting on a teleconference with this oil company, and they're explaining to us what happened in this area and what they want to do for their people. And you would have thought that you were talking to the frickin' United Way. You know what I mean? And this wasn't like, it wasn't a horrible ordeal. It was an inconvenience to these people, but this oil company felt some type of business to, affected party, what's it called? That they said, look, and these weren't even really necessarily employees. These were people that they worked for the company. No, they had relatives that worked for the company. The employees were getting something else. These were like widowers, and I don't want to say too much, but these were like people that sideways would have been affected by this. Widowers and people that got, money passed down to them. These weren't even employees. And if they still resided in the area. So they wanted my team to utilize our tools to find these people and confirm the address information that they had, make them aware of this thing that this oil company wanted to assist them with, whether they really needed it or not. And they stressed to us with the most urgent care that we talk to these people and understand their possible plight. All because these people had relatives that weren't even necessarily alive, that either worked or at one point in time, they either works for or at one point in time worked for this oil company, and they were relocated to this area. We said, God damn, we were shocked. We never realized that an oil company could have such a moral compass like this. Now, I wish I could say more about what this situation was, because y'all would really understand and say they really went all out for that. Yes. And this wasn't even their fault. Now I turn to Google. Again, the argument feasibly can be made that these low resource gamers were offered access to something based upon their economic attainability. You said it yourselves. Target demo those that either don't have the time or the resources to do mainstream gaming. You said it yourself. It'd be argued that they were lured in further by offering more attainability for them to convert to these Google Play credits. The records are there to show that they've only done it to purchase Stadia products. They weren't really getting anything else in the most case. I'm willing to argue that, even though I don't have the metrics in front of me. You then, within a short amount of time, remove their ability to access these items for eternity. And you don't refund, as you stated, you reimburse them the credit obtained only for said thing that you're shutting off abruptly forever. You do that, but I've worked for oil companies that under less attachable circumstances wouldn't even dare. Oil companies. Yeah, if this is how this goes down, not only do you have a reputational risk problem, because I know the IGNs and the Kotaku, they're going to eat this up, because this won't be contained. Because look at what happened when Color couldn't even get just his Red Dead Redemption 2 information transferred. Oh, that filthy Google. That'll be a cakewalk in comparison to this. So again, I'm just putting this out there in the ethos in case somebody's thinking, oh no, the hell with it. Let's walk on the dark side. Now again, a lot of my friends or others may hear this and they may say, that's why I had to make it abundantly clear that I'm speaking for myself based upon my experience and my thoughts on this situation. This is what I'm speaking on. I do want to say this. Some people may be listening to this and they may be saying one of three things. They may be saying, well, people should be happy to receive anything. Normally nothing is given when a platform shuts down. That's one thing you may hear. Another thing you may hear is, look, the Stadia people don't deserve this. Just be patient. And the last thing that you may hear commonly, because I've been hearing it, is, look, you got something. Just enjoy it. Just enjoy the play credit. Let's address all three of those things. I respectfully disagree with the first point. People should be happy that anything is received. Normally nothing is received when a platform closed down. In previous platform shutdowns, let's take, for instance, the Dreamcast. I can still play my Dreamcast games. The device wasn't removed and sledgehammered into obliteration. Hell, there's even an open market for retro devices such as the Dreamcast. So even though there were not future Dreamcast things coming, and even though there were certain elements and servers that were shut off, I can still play said device. Right? Like, for instance, if I can't afford anything past the 360, I can still play my 360 games. There are people still actively playing their 360 games, even though there's nothing new being built for 360. I can't play all of them. Yes, there's a degradation of what I have access to, of course, but it's still available to play. Just in 3 years, Stadia has put a sledgehammer to it all. This does not compare. Secondly, Don't be nasty to the Stadia staff and be patient. Now, I do agree with that, but I think it needs to go a little bit further. Here's what I suggest. Because the Stadia staff here are the ones that are given, everybody else got knives and guns and grenades and whatever and rocket launchers of this Google brass. And they gave the Stadia people sporks and said, all right, you deal with this. You deal with our mess. The Stadia people, as things are laid out now, as we know, don't deserve any attack. Just get the information from them, get stuff confirmed, and I would say move from there. The first thing that you need to do, and you know how we do, let me show you something. I created this nice little diagram. It's a little boring or whatever, but I wanted to, when I said I itemized all my stuff, yes, this took some time. It was cumbersome, but it was worth it. Because now I know, even on the Google Play credit side, where the company effed up and awarded too much Google Play credit and not reimbursed and reimbursement instead of refunding me. You know what I mean? Based it upon their current logic anyway. But let me go into the chat. You should be legit. You should legit. And the Google Play credit expires apparently. Yeah, they said, Dusty Aran, that they're going to work on that. I think there was an article somewhere where they considered that a glitch, so they're going to work on that. You gave so much to this deal. You know what? Cold blood? No, I shouldn't laugh at that. You're actually right. Here's what. You gave so much to this DOA platform and only got the middle finger and lost friends just to use the money to get for yourself, brother. All right. I won't say it was DOA. I would just say that unfortunately, it was in the hands of the Stadia people were fantastic. And Zov Dimmering and them, Zimmering and them really did an about face and was turning this thing around and really going at the measure that they should have. And it's a shame we didn't see it come to fruition the way that it should have. It just happened to be in the hands of the Google brass that just didn't assert the long-term care. But here's my problem, and this is why I had to establish why I'm doing this and why this doesn't speak for anybody else but me, because I feel a sense of responsibility. I told gamers that under these circumstances, if you fit under this, and the other, try this platform out, give it a shot. And if you enjoy it, great. Go ahead and go ahead and make your investment. I mean, you know, based upon, and they did so. And by them doing so, we were told continuously, this is not going anywhere. I think there was even, I could be wrong, I think there was even literature somewhere, well, what if you shut down the server or you shut down the service? And from what I understand, it made it sound like that at least there may not be more games added, but the ones that you did access would still be there. The scenario that we're dealing with now was never presented, never seemed plausible. Because even though Neo Geo shut down, Sega Saturn, Dreamcast, GameCube, you can still play those games. And so so this would be a non-issue if the servers weren't being shut down and we were still having access to everything. And if only the games on the platform were being updated, then yeah, it's a non-issue. Or even if they weren't being updated, which would suck, but it would fall in line with other platforms that shut down. You seriously erode. You talk about. This is why I have confidence in Google. They're not this dumb. I'm not telling anybody to ease up. I'm just giving you my thoughts. I'm gonna tell you what you need to do, which is the opposite of ease up. But they can't be this dumb. You talk about you want to see cloud gaming succeed. There is no bigger nail in the coffin of cloud gaming. If people who've been ranting, well, what if this platform shuts down and you lose that's it. There's no other nail in the coffin of cloud gaming. If you shut down the service, don't give people access to the stuff in the future, but then reimburse them and credit that they're not going to use. You are literally putting the nail in the coffin of cloud gaming forever if you do that. Because that's the mainstream argument against it. And let this hit the airwaves, let this hit Kotaku, IGN, GameSpot, and all them. Oh my God, look what they're gonna do with cloud gaming. Now you see Microsoft kind of like backpedaling a little bit. So what's gonna happen there? Like people will be like, oh no, ain't no way in hell I'll ever invest in that. Even in the future when it is performance-wise, side by side with hardware. No, if y'all shut this down, you're gonna give me some credit, and all I have access to is Pizzle Popper 5 and all of its DLC. No! Cloud gaming will be an afterthought forever. You can't do anything like this. You either have to keep what is out there open and available for way longer than this at least, or you give people back their money. It's as simple as that. You cannot reasonably say you're for the development of cloud gaming unless you do otherwise. You are killing, I don't care about the technicalities, well, this, that, and the other. Again, I have regulated this for 25 plus years. I understand the norms. I understand all the technicalities that comes with this. That does not supersede consumer habits. No consumer in their right mind is going to continue to deal with a sector that takes your money, gives you access to something for a little bit of time, and then tries to force you to buy Fizzle Popper 12 as compensation. Throw all the technicality out of the window. If you are a cloud gaming aficionado, you cannot stand for this possible scenario. You just can't. I don't see how you do it. You either keep the service as is running or give people back their money. And what I mean as is running, okay, no more games are coming. Hell, no more updates are coming. Keep it there. So people can still play their games. Damn, people can still play their you're trying to tell me that you want us to invest in this thing that's supposed to be more convenient, but if you decide to give up on it, it's over with. We're gonna give you a whole bunch of points to buy some socks. Google can't be that dumb. They can't be. I fail to believe that. Not just for the legal ramifications, but they can't be that dumb to be known as the company that killed cloud gaming. They can't be that dumb. Like, for the sake of any other business that they're planning to do, that has been rumored, for the sake of those businesses to even go off, like, once this hit, if this scenario is a scenario that we have to deal with, Once this hits the outlets, it's over. Don't even teeter on this. Don't even play with this. Give the people back their money. Cut your losses. I get there's $1 trillion tech recession, but you did this. This was self-inflicted. You did this. So follow through and do what's right for when you come out of this recession, that you're not hampered forever. And you're not given a scarlet letter forever. You cannot legitimately say that you're for the improvement and the enhancement of cloud gaming if you succumb and actually create the scenario that heightens the fears of everybody that is skeptical of cloud gaming. You can't, those two things cannot occupy the same space and same time. They can't. I know I'm not crazy. I may sound it, but I'm not. And again, I'm just talking, this is hypothetically talking, and I'm putting this out in the ethos. Yes, I'm putting it out there with some umph. But damn it, sometimes you just need a way, because again, alarm bells are being raised that this might at the least be a scenario that is being thought of. This shouldn't even be entertained. Not just for the moral compass of it, but even if you don't have a moral compass, even if you don't think about reputational risk, even if you're that damn genius and you, if that's all that runs in your brain, and that's the only thing that happens up there, for the sake of the company. You would have essentially killed cloud gaming. All right, so again, for those that say, you know, again, don't be nasty to Stadia staff, I agree, but I suggest itemizing your things. Let's get into the itemization part. So here's what I had to do. Now, granted, I had to block off some things because I didn't want you guys to see my relevant, you creeps, you cretins to see my relevant information. But here's what I did. And everything's not in chronological order, but I had to put the account, the Google account that I used for said purchase, the item that I bought. These are just some of the items that I bought, right? The date they were purchased, the amount that was used for said purchases, and then hard and soft. I mean, no, this is not, this ain't Pornhub. But hard and soft means, is it hardware or software? And I cataloged that for a reason. I'm gonna let you know in this. Well, no, I can tell you right now, because I want to filter this data. And I'm gonna show you in the next slide how I filtered this data and was able to discover certain things. So what I did here is I put the amount here that the purchase was for, and then these subsequent columns are for, well, how did I obtain, what fundage did I use? Did I use the Google Play credit? That everything that was bought by Google Play credit, whether it was the full amount or partial like you see here, I put it there. My PayPal, did I use my PayPal account? I put it there. Did I use another credit? This is one of my main credit cards. Did I use my main credit card? I put it there. Did I use another credit card? I put it here. And then I put, you know, whether it was a Visa, MasterCard, and I put like the last remaining digits. Another thing that I did too is if it was Google Play credit, I put Google Play credit traceable. So this, like for instance, for Resident Evil Village, it would cost me $64.19. I made 2 Google Play credit purchases from one of my credit cards to get to like $70. And then I bought this game. and those, that's traceable. So in my conversation with whomever, and it's not going to be the Stadia people. Again, when I say this, I'm not saying this to be mean towards them because I understand the position that they're in. I don't want to talk to them. I want to talk to the people at Google, or I want to talk to this third-party entity that they're using moving these funds. I'm not talking to Google Stadia. I'm talking to Google, or I'm talking to whoever, Point Meter or whatever, whoever the hell they are. Because the fact that I can trace this credit and show you, look, I solely purchased that credit for the sole purpose of getting this game. And you can look at my activity. I don't buy shit else here. Fizzle, pizzle, dizzle popper. There's nothing I give a damn about. Reimburse the credit card that credit came from, please. Reimburse the credit that the credit card where this credit came from for judgment, please. Was it split? Yes or no? I did that because that helped me go back to, here's a secret. I'm gonna put it in the chat right now for those of you that may not be aware. You can go to Gmail, go to your Gmail, and in the search bar, I would show y'all this, but that shows up too much information. You type in categories, purchases. I put that in the chat. Do it just like that, no spaces. Then put a space and put Resident Evil Village or whatever. You can just do that and scroll through all your purchases, because all your purchases that you made, whether it was Google Play or the Google Store, the receipts are sent to your Gmail. So you can do that. And what I did is, when I was on my itemized list in the Google Play Store, if it said multiple purchases, but it wouldn't give me the amounts, I would, yes, follow back using the dates. That's why I put the dates here. Using that date, putting category purchases, scrolling to that date in Gmail, finding that line item, and putting in the different amounts as you see here. So I know exactly which was Google Play credit or whatever. And I found out that they over associated Google Play credit opposed to what should have been deposited to me, returned back to my issuer. So when I do make contact, I'm gonna point that out. I know exactly which line item it is, and I can point that out. I know this is cumbersome, and let me show you this next slide. So I use all these data points, and this last data point was too, to make sure that when I plugged in an item here, that if there was an amount here, that meant that I didn't apply it. You know what I mean? So everything should be zero, right? And let me show you here, when I put on the filters, like in this filter, I wanted to see how much I would get back in hardware for a specific amount. So I put hardware there. And I just said, give me all the hardware and give me all the, you know what I'm saying? And so now I can calculate how much money I'm gonna get back in hardware for a specific amount of time, right? So you're gonna have to do something like that to stay on top of this. Because I'm letting you know right now, the feeling that I'm getting is that, again, I said, I don't think Google's that stupid to not make concessions. But they're not going to offer it to you. You're going to have to go to them and ask it to them and have line items to show them, I feel, which I'm not agreeing with, but I have familiarity here. And my spidey sense is telling me this is what they're going to make people do. So hopefully that makes sense. All right. With that said, now that I've went through all that and I got everybody's blood pressure up, let me go to the chat and I'm gonna go to the final part which is what I hope happens. The Shizzle says, so have people received their payments? To a degree. There are some people that never use Google Play, just use it. They got all their money back. But a lot of people, again, and I did it because it was cheaper. You know what I mean? Even though I am not under-resourced, I'm a cheapskate. I'm a cheapskate. So everywhere I can save a buck, I did it. But again, I didn't have to. But imagine the people that had to. That's why a lot of them are seeing 2/3, 3/4 of the reimbursement in Google Play credit. And again, this wouldn't be such a big deal to me if the service was still going to stay up for another 2 or 3 years. It's dying at the beginning of the year. Give the people back their money. Next we go on, says MM2K is Johnny Cochran in the flesh. No, look, I'm gonna spill a little bit more tea. I've done in multi-million-dollar lawsuits. I have to testify on behalf of our company, depositions, all that stuff. I know how this stuff works. That's why it's so important that I hide my face. A lot of people think I'm just capping that, you know what I'm saying, I'm the burger boy at Fat Burger. Nothing against the burger boy at Fat Burger, but no. We deal with a lot of government issued activity. And I don't own my own presence. I don't work at doing what I do. I'd have to, if I wanted to show my presence. The problem is that because of what I do, there's a big federal and industry-wide concern about bribery, right? A government official could bribe me to not in an audit, you know, as I'm going through certain things. And when I say I'm not, it's not that, but when a regular check and balance to ignore it and let things get funneled through, stuff like that. So whenever I do things like I'm doing, if I were to show my person and one of the government entity contacts that I work with says, oh, this dude is on YouTube, let me send him a $500 super chat each month so he can do, you know what I'm saying? That's the concern. Can't do interviews, can't, in my real, I got it, all that stuff. I got to get approval from them. I had a conversation with a content creator a while ago because they wanted to do business with me on the content creation side. And they said to me, well, you can't show your face or anything. Like I've dealt with people that do real estate that show that do, and I wanted to laugh and say, my brother, you just don't, you understand? We don't have the answers to everything in the scenarios in everybody else's life. So again, I get it. In this whole cloud gaming thing, there's a huge, like, that's, we're bubbly and we're energetic and we're spirited people. And sometimes our imaginations can run wild. That could be a great thing, a fun thing, but it also can be a detriment to us. So believe you me, this is my area of expertise. And one Fortune 500 person speaking to, don't even entertain this. I totally get why the credit was fast tracked to where it was reimbursed to. And I get that you may have talked to, you not may have, you would have talked to lawyers about this. But believe you me, we've talked to lawyers too. And we haven't won every case. You know what I'm saying? The lawyers don't always have the answers. Just lawyers on both sides of cases. And somebody always loses, right? Believe you me, this is not a dark side that anybody under these circumstances want to walk down. So it's not about me being Johnny Cochran. Well, I guess I appreciate it, but I don't want to go the same fate. But No, I have considerable experience here. This is what I do. And I felt like I'm teetering here. Like I'm not over the line, but I'm teetering closer than I ever have before. But I have such a moral compass as far as people being used. And I don't play that technical, well, technically, I don't play that technicality crap because the courts don't play it. The courts don't care that you drafted a procedure and said this, that. Once they bump that process up against the laws and the reasonable expectations of a consumer, that procedure was just a waste of ink if it doesn't fall in line. So I don't care what anybody technically says in their standards or terms of agreement. I've seen them laughed at billions of times. The predatory part, class action part, I'm not saying it's a definite, but it's all fathomable here. Fred Murray says, for class action. And again, my advice is don't jump the gun. Let's wait for the communication. Let's see if there's further communication down the road. I'm not saying don't wait forever. Here's my suggestion. After creating an itemized amount of items the way that I did, my next suggestion is let's give it a week or two, max. 2 weeks is long enough for them to come back and say, okay, because all it takes is when there's an NOC charge, it's 10 days. So let's give it 14 days maximum. It takes about 10 days for NOC charge for NOC charge to go charge back to go through. So let's give it 14 days from today. 14 days from today is the 25th. So if by the 25th, if 2 Fridays from now, by noon, give it till noon as well. I mean, I say 1 p.m. 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because Federal Reserve, I think they work on Eastern Time. Give it by 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on noon. I mean, at noon, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 25th. If by 1 p.m. you haven't received a letter or notice or whatever, start hitting up Google. Start hitting up this financial institution, not Stadia. Hitting up Google. What you're going to want to do though before that is give it to I would say that Thursday, that Wednesday or Thursday, by the 23rd, talk to your financial institution by the 23rd. If by the 23rd, your financial institution said that doesn't have any records of that money, then it was charged back. Or if they say, you know what, we charged it back, then okay, they're either gonna tell you one of three things: we don't have any record. Oh yes, we got the money in. Oh, we were trying to figure out where to put it. Thank you for calling. Where do you want it? Or 3, yeah, we got it, but we weren't sure where to put it, so we sent it back. If it's 1 or 3, you got to call Google back. If it's 2, then tell them where to put the money in game over. But by the 25th, that other communication, that email where Google or their third parties reaching out to you, that should have already been sent. And if you don't get it by the 25th, then just start hitting Google up. Dreamcast was a golden era. I love the Dreamcast. I was about to buy another one. Said I presented that scenario on day one. You sure did, Cold Blood. You sure did. And everything that you feared would have been validated and will be the death of cloud gaming if this is the avenue they're going. Again, don't know. They very well could be intended of just saying, you know what, they could just be Google, they're cryptic, not saying anything Google, which you would think they would be better, especially at this, not the ambiguous crap, but it's Google. Don't have to learn the hard way, whatever. But they very well could be putting something together a little bit more formal, and they intend to do the right thing. That could be it. And I'm reckoning that they are. They can't be that dumb. They can't be that dumb. But if they are, then yeah, everything that you said would have been 1,000% right, and they would have essentially been responsible for the death of cloud gaming. Can Google be credit be using? Unfortunately, no. Unfortunately, no. If they could be, then I would still say that it's not a good look, because then people got to buy gift cards or they got to buy devices and then go re-hustle them, be hustle man with the long trench coat and a bunch of Google phones on one side of the trench coat and 3 pigeons with a stick going through them on the other one. They got to hustle man their money back. But that's a completely different scenario from having to only deal with Google Play. Dusty Aran says, dang. Henry says, still haven't received it yet. Better be my bank. Yeah, it could be your bank. Because if you're in the US, Henry, they're closed. And unless it was through PayPal or a credit card, I think like Nick said he saw his. If it wasn't through there, then yeah. He says, RHO's Ross Gaming says, I don't even get all the money I spent in Google Play, even though it says it was refunded. Wow. Yeah, you know what, Ross? When I woke up this morning, I want to say around 3 or 4 this morning. Yeah, I get up early. It was only like a third of what I have there now. So I was like, oh shit. They've actually automatically, as me and Cold Blood was talking about earlier, they actually automatically associated certain Google Play credit to the credit card that was used to purchase it. And they already credited. But then a few hours later, I saw that they were like, no, they just sent it all to the Google Play. And again, that off the bat is an inconvenience, and I know it's eyeball inducing, but that off the bat isn't the issue. It's restricting the ability to move that credit. That's what the potential powder keg can be. And what you're probably witnessing right now, Ross, is that all of your credit isn't there yet. So give it some more time. All right, we're gonna end off with this part. What I hope happens. What I hope happens is the contact emails are sent within a week. Again, remember, the Stadia people have stated that there's going to be contact emails coming out soon. Hopefully we get those within a week. I'm even being more, honestly, 3 days after that week is when you could start calling, but I'm suggesting, because there are hiccups time to time, give it 2 weeks to start reaching out to these people. I'm hoping that people can reach out about the Google Play credit and get it moved. I'm hoping that at best the credit can be transferred to the issuer of choice. Like, again, how y'all saw in my example, I was able to pinpoint where what the credit was to use to buy a specific game, where it came from. It came from me using my credit card to load up on Google Play credit the same day I bought, for instance, Resident Evil Village. So I'm hoping that I can show them that and they'll reimburse the At worst, allow me to go to the Google Play Store, buy some earbuds or something like that I can go on the street and hawk or whatever the case may be. And last but not least, to soften the blow, to show that there is some type of business moral compass, some concern towards reputational risk, reimbursements for hard work come this year as well. That's what I'm hopeful. All right. So we're going to see if that happens. If that happens, then great. And this 2 hours would have been like, well, it was doomsday scenario, but we can be like, well, MM2K, this didn't happen, which we're all happy about. But at least we got informed about how ACHs work, a little bit more insight about what you do and why you got to be classed or cloaked away from us like Batman. Hopefully that's it. Anything else, as they say, would be less civilized. That's it from your boy, y'all. A couple more comments. We got Eddie Sepulveda. Eddie Sepulveda Jr. says, for me, Chase is always slow with refunds. My Credit One bank, yeah. My Credit One shows refunds for 3 games at least. That's cool. Oh, okay. See, it seems like the credit cards, because credit cards are more of a global establishment, that they're transaction-wise, they're not closed on the holidays. But because banks that are in the U.S., or particularly just work in the U.S., yeah, they're observing the holiday, and these ACH departments, they're not going to process this stuff. And what's happening, Eddie, is, again, if you missed it, is Credit One doesn't actually have that money yet. They got a report from the Federal Reserve that said that it's coming. Because you're a value customer, they're fronting you the funds now. Which is a cool thing that a lot of banks do. If you ever heard of those, remember the rush cards and all that crap that used to come through, and they're like, get your ACH 2 days earlier. That's why. They basically see the report and they front you the money. And what it normally is that after, like, okay, so say for instance, I can't remember the exact days because I don't deal with those transactions anymore. Like I said, I'm more client focused and don't deal with, but I can't remember the exact days, but what happens is an ACH, say if it goes out on Monday with the intention, if you say I wanted to do a deposit on Friday, then I have to send it out as an ACH on Monday. Some cases it can be shorter days. But to play it safe, you have that 5-day period. You have that 5-day period because in case you got to do a callback, meaning you, for some reason that the amount was wrong or it was sent to the wrong, you were given the wrong account information and all other stuff. And if you authorize an ACH to go in like 3 days opposed to 5, your ability to call that money back is obliterated. So normally people, when they send out an ACH, they send it to the Federal Reserve on Monday with the hopes that it's going to go out on Friday. And what happens is the Federal Reserve will hold on to it. They hold on to it for a few reasons. Like I said, to make sure that you ain't on no terrorist watch list. OFAC, look it up. The OFAC watch list, look it up. I'm not pulling this shit out my ass. Make sure you're not on OFAC. You're not on any other, laundering watch list or whatever. And then they also hold it to give the banks an opportunity to call it back if need be, as long as they've deposited or they made the transaction in enough time. And then let's just say on the business day before, usually the business day before, Federal Reserve can't call it back anyway, or they can't send it back If you want it back, then you got to deal with the bank that received it. You got to deal with the receiving bank. So the Federal Reserve says, okay, the business day before, this is the money that we're about to send. And the receiving bank can say, okay, well, this is a value customer, or we value our customers in general. We're going to give them this money early. And that's why when you get those rush cards or whatever, you know, your direct deposit day may be the 15th, but you get it on the 13th, because they're taking that risk of giving you that money early, even though a lot of people with those rush cards don't have the credit to have a bank. So there might be a lot of times to where that money's actually being pulled back, or there's something nefarious going on. But guess what? A lot of it, I'm gonna give you some more tea. Something, and this is part of the thing that I helped draft. It's a revision on this. Normally it's financial institutions that issue those rush cards. And the reason why they take that risk and actually give it to you 2 days early, opposed to 1 day like a bank, is because a financial institution is considered a person. It's called holder of due course. It's Uniform Commercial Code 3.14, I believe it is. I should know this because I helped revise it. Because financial institutions are considered a person and not a bank, they have to remain whole. And that's a loophole. That's a loophole because that was a regulation that was made in case let's just say if Cold Blood Sensei gave me a check and it was a legitimate check and I deposited it, but for some reason the issuer wanted the money back. They couldn't then, and I deposited that check and gave the money to Cold Blood Sensei. They couldn't go and debit that and take that from me because I'm a person. They just got to go through the rigors to contact Cold Blood Sensei and get the money back. And that's what financial institutions used to do. They used to get away with this a lot until we revised the Uniform Commercial Code that gave them that loophole. So that's why you don't see those rush cards and all that stuff as much as you did, because they don't get away with it like they used to. Because what would happen is if something nefarious would happen and you weren't supposed to get that money and the issuer was late on doing that, they were SOL. They didn't have to go after you. They'd have to submit a tax form or get an investigator, whatever the case may be. But just a little bit. So at the least, if Google is as smart as I think they are, and this is not the avenue that they're going down, then this would have just been nothing more than an informative conversation for me to give a little bit more insight to what I do and drop some gems on you guys. Hopefully that's all this is. All right. But that's it. Let me see. It says, for all the pain and suffering, they're giving us a new gaming Google Chromebook for free. He says they do that with the Chime app. See, I think Chime is a bank. They're not a financial institution. Chime actually works like a bank. So if they are doing it a little bit earlier, they are taking a bigger risk than a financial, like instead of like an Ace check cashing, you know what I mean? Or Quick Cash, remember them institutions? I don't know if they're still around. They might still be around. It says, how would my refund work? It says, bro, I gotta tell you, I bought games from non-supported country. I don't know. I mean, if you use your credit card to buy it, they're just gonna reimburse your credit card. If you use Google Play to buy it, they're gonna give you Google Play credit. I use VPN. Now, I don't think the methodology of where you buy, I don't think that matters. All they see is the transaction and what was used for it. What was used? Was it Google Play credit, or was it a credit card or a bank card, a debit card? And they're just gonna reissue it back there depending upon which source was used. So I don't think that how you played it, because for instance, I bought games for my son. That's what, you know, I bought games for my son, and I didn't play them. So yeah, they're not looking into that. Google Stadia was basically a 2-year savings account for some. If all your stuff went into Google Play credit. Eddie said that makes sense. Thanks. Oh no, I appreciate it. Appreciate it. I don't know how this stuff works, but this might be putting in G-Play and tracing it back. They might putting it, yeah. That's what I'm hoping that they're doing, is that just to get the process along from it being a purchase to it being refundable fully, they just put it in the account. They reimburse Google Play credit. Somebody tell Lo-Fi owes me some Taco Bell nacho fries. Uh-oh, did y'all have a bet? All right, y'all, that's it. I'm gonna try to get ready by 2 o'clock. That's like 50 minutes from now to play some God of War on, and I got it pinned. Let's end this poll. 64% of you said you got most of your money back via Google Play credit. Wow. Okay. All right, y'all. Well, that's it from your boy. I got it pinned at the top. Make sure you're following me there. I'm gonna be playing God of War 1440p there. All right. And until next time, have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day. Peace.